Hey guys, Tony here from Tectonic Byte, and I've used this iPhone 8 for a couple weeks now, long enough to determine whether or not you should buy it. I compiled a list of 8 reasons why you should or should not buy this iPhone. Reason number 1, no noteworthy design change. Yes, I know it has a glass back, but it's still the same boring iPhone size. Not much of its physical dimensions have changed. The design of the iPhone 8 looks almost exactly the same as the iPhone 6 from the front, besides color differences. If you want drastic design changes, the iPhone 8 is not for you. However, the upside to this is that if you're currently using an iPhone 7 or earlier, you'll be able to use the same cases. This marketing tactic allows loyal Apple fans to have more incentive to upgrade since it's just a new phone with better specs and a camera. You won't have to go shopping for a new case unless your old one is all grimy. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you aren't subscribed, please do so now. Reason number 2, wireless charging. Wireless charging isn't even that big of a deal. You'll still be tied down to a wireless charging pad, except you won't be able to use your phone while charging. So it kind of limits the function of your phone. Charging with a cable is sometimes easier in that you can move your phone freely to an extent without the charge stopping. Wireless charging is nothing new, and it's sometimes an inconvenience that does not justify an upgrade to a new iPhone. But wireless charging is a great feature to have. You can just lay your phone on the pad and let it charge without the fuss of taking out your cable and plugging it in. Sure, it'll be limited in functionality, but it's still a convenient feature to have at times. Whether you think this feature is worth it or not is up to you, but I personally think it's lame. Reason number 3, the camera. It's just another typical camera upgrade with deeper pixels, better dynamic range, blah blah blah. The camera upgrade isn't revolutionary, but just a typical incremental upgrade that isn't worth spending your money on. On the other hand, the camera has been improved drastically if you look at it more closely. As mentioned before, the iPhone 8 has deeper pixels, much better dynamic range, and optical image stabilization in photos and videos, but I think the iPhone 7 also had the latter. Photos look much crispier than before and more evenly exposed. On top of that, the iPhone 8 also records up to 4K at 60 frames per second, which means videos will be extremely sharp and smooth and can be slowed down later on in editing without having a choppy effect. The only consumer camera that can record in 4K at 60 frames per second is the Panasonic Lumix GH5, and that thing costs $2,000. 4K 60 frames per second on the iPhone 8 could be reason enough to purchase it. Reason number 4, the A11 BIONIC chip. For average consumers, you won't notice a difference in performance with this new chip. It's just a typical chip upgrade that every new iPhone gets, and it isn't very innovative. Well, if you look closer with a less subjective view, you'll see that the A11 BIONIC chip is actually quite impressive. According to Apple, the A11 BIONIC chip is the most powerful chip in a smartphone yet, with up to a 25% faster CPU and a 30% faster GPU compared to the A10 Fusion chip. The A11 BIONIC chip offers unrivaled performance over other chips. The A11 chip is much more efficient with battery power and performance, maximizing the available cores for fluid performance. In terms of real-world usage, it's definitely real quick to hop back and forth between apps. Launching apps is also a quick task, and the phone performs without any hiccups whatsoever. Reason number 5, iOS 11. I know iOS 11 is available for the iPhone 5S and later, but it generally performs much better on the iPhone 8 than it does on any other iPhone. If you want a more optimized experience with iOS 11, you're practically forced to get a new iPhone, and it's honestly not worth it for a more fluid experience. If you don't want to invest your money into Apple, the cash-grabbing company, this iPhone is not for you. However, I think iOS 11 is so buggy on older phones because it is optimized for newer devices. The augmented reality function on iOS 11 is non-existent on this iPhone 6. iOS 11 was made for newer phones, and that just happens to be available on older phones. It's really just too advanced and buggy for older phones. But if you're interested in a better optimized experience and augmented reality, then the iPhone 8 is the phone for you. Reason number 6, fast charging. This isn't a new feature to phones in general, and it's quite lame coming from Apple at such a late time. Fast charging has been available for Android phones for many years. In order to fast charge the iPhone 8, you'll have to use a Lightning to USB-C cable and a USB-C 29 watt or higher power adapter at an additional cost. This is a turnoff for buying the iPhone 8, considering you'll be charged extra for a feature that has already been implemented in many Android smartphones. However, it's a new feature in relation to previous iPhones, and it's a welcomed one. You can charge your iPhone 8 up to 50% in just 30 minutes. Reason number 7, stereo speakers. This feature is yet again nothing new and was already implemented in the iPhone 7, but it's nothing substantial that differentiates the iPhone 7 from the 8. On the contrary, the stereo speakers are a huge upgrade from the iPhones older than the 7. The iPhone 6 only has one speaker, and the stereo speakers of the 8 sound phenomenal compared to the 6. This feature is a significant upgrade from older generation iPhones, and if you fall in that category, the iPhone 8 could be the one for you. Reason number 8, the glass back. Other phones such as the Samsung Galaxy S8 and the Galaxy Note 8 already had a glass back before the iPhone 8 was released. The iPhone 8's glass back might not be the toughest glass ever on a smartphone like Apple claims, since glass isn't very tough. Apple's just spreading false claims of innovation again, and it's getting to be quite repetitive. I'll have to contradict myself for the 8th time, hence the strange video title, and say that the glass back is actually a really nice feature. It adds a bit more bulk and heft to the phone compared to the iPhone 6, and it just feels much better in the hand. The phone itself feels sturdy and robust. Of course, Apple, the king of build quality, does it again with the integrated glass front and back and aluminum sides. The glass back certainly isn't revolutionary considering previous phones, including the iPhone 4 and 4S, had it, but it certainly is a superb feature. The glass back isn't revolutionary considering previous phones, including the iPhone 4 and 4S. Overall, I think the iPhone 8 is worth buying if you're upgrading from an iPhone 6S or older. The stereo speakers, glass back, much improved camera, fluid performance, powerful A11 BIONIC chip, and much more are excellent upgrades. Of course, if you're currently using an iPhone 7, I would highly not recommend upgrading since the iPhone 8 has such incremental upgrades from the 7. If the iPhone 8's upgrades do not satisfy you, you could also wait for the iPhone 10 and purchase that, since the nearly bezel-less design, dual optical image stabilized lenses, Face ID, the creepy animojis, and new augmented reality functionality on the new vertical camera should be a much more substantial upgrade. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. Tell me your thoughts about the iPhone 8 and whether or not you think it's worth it in the comments down below.